The first opinion is that, I hate that K-pop shorts mostly make K-pop shorts for virality purposes. They make videos on general topics or topics that are widely used, which is fine to me, but most of the K-pop shorts channels do it with the intention of getting popular, I believe so, and not because they want to. I don't think I've seen a K-pop shorts channel yet, doing K-pop shorts that feel like it's made for fun, and not for virality purposes. For me, even though I find K-pop shorts questionable at times, I started making them because I found them fun and interesting. But for others, I feel like they do it for clicks and views, because sometimes their videos are the most common things or that most people know, or sometimes K-pop shorts channels are just doing same ideas as other shorts channels. I've yet to find a channel that feels genuine in making K-pop shorts just for fun. The next opinion is that, I've noticed that people will say a group fell off, only because the song they released is not wow factor, and up to par with what K-pop stans want. K-pop stans want a group to release fast-paced music, and anything slower or not that memorable sounding, they say the group fell off. And I believe this is the case with some K-pop stans, because they always want to have fast-paced or in-your-face music, that anytime a K-pop group doesn't release anything that feels memorable, they'll say the group fell off, only because the songs they're releasing are more softer or plain or simple. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I believe that this is one of the reasons that K-pop stans say a group fell off, only because the music is more simple, and less memorable to them. But to be honest with you, chilled, softer or simple music can be memorable too. It doesn't have to be loud or noisy or in your face or fast-paced to be memorable. But anyways, if K-pop stans do think like this, then as a chilled, simple music lover, and as someone who prefers chilled, simple music over fast-paced music a lot of the time, I say that this is the dumbest thing ever. Groups won't fall off only because their music isn't wow factor. They'll fall if they start to show a decline. The next opinion is that, I hate that Lapalus is a living example of a company proving people's points of fourth generation being noise, and mostly dance-based. There are so many groups who aren't dance-based, who have amazing vocals, and who don't release noise, and have debuted in the fourth generation, but groups like Lapalus come in with a debut song that's loud, noisy, mostly instrumentation with less singing and then show that fourth generation is indeed noisy, and are mostly dance-based. I hope no more groups like Lapalus, with their mostly instrumental debut come, because I don't want the point about fourth generation being noisy and dance-based to be proven, and then K-pop stans have more of a reason to believe the things they say about fourth generation, and then the actual true evidence showing that fourth generation isn't just noise and dance-based, get thrown away and left in the dust. The next opinion is that, I thought K-pop was evolving. Turns out it's going backwards. Today's when MVs were mostly dance performance-based. Like watching 4 Minutes Volume Up made me realize that K-pop MVs in the now current K-pop era are similar to ones back in previous generations when MVs had a lot of dance performance. It's true. A lot of bigger and smaller company MVs, for example, aespa's Next Level, Gravity's My Turn, Minimani's Stop, Girlkin's Good Vibes only to name a few, are MVs that are mostly dance, and they're basically reverting back to K-pop's older generation days, with these dance performance type MVs. It's so sad that I thought that K-pop MVs were evolving, but not a lot of MVs are actually good MVs, that aren't mostly dance performance, but have a lot of different scenes and less dance, be it from a bigger or smaller company. The next opinion is that, this opinion I got from Cheryl's popular K-pop opinions that make no sense video, and it's about sexy concepts, and how people want them back. Like bruh, it never left. So many sexy concepted girl groups have existed since 2010, probably before, but I DK much about K-pop before 2010, but from 2010 up till now, so many sexy concepted girl groups have existed, yet y'all never pay or paid much attention to them, and some of them have even gotten some good views for their songs too. Y'all only want sexy concepts back, because again y'all never look at nugu or underrated or smaller company groups, and only look at the bigger well-known side of K-pop and assume things. Like literally just for fun and being inspired by Mr. K-pop's community post 2 to 3 months ago, I made a long-ass video on the sexy concept on K-pop since 2010. So for y'all to want it back, when it's been thriving for years, but never noticed the groups who've done it, it's you guys' fault for not giving them the attention, so y'all wouldn't have to say, bring back sexy concepts, because y'all would know that it never left. So sexy concepts never left K-pop, it just got replaced by a new concept trend that got popular, leaving it to become less used amongst bigger groups, and mostly used by nugu or smaller groups. Most concepts that once thrived amongst the popular, well-known side of K-pop became underrated once a new popular concept trend took over, and that's why people think it's dying or need to come back, because it's not seen around much in the bigger side of K-pop, which most people tend to look at, without checking the unknown Nugu side as well. And that, to me, is only one side of the picture. It's like, for example, when something bad happens between two people, and you start making judgments only based on one person's story, and do not listen to the other person's story as well to have a clear picture to make a full and proper judgment. You just heard half of the story, and then make an incorrect judgment. It's the same with K-pop stans who, after looking at only the bigger side to K-pop, never looking at the Nugu or smaller side to K-pop, make judgments that are false and misinformation. People need to realize that the smaller side of K-pop exists too. Get it into your thick fucking skulls. Damn, stop being so dumb. The next opinion is that there are a lot of K-tubers who I don't think should make K-pop opinions or one-sentence K-pop opinions videos. This is no hate to any K-tubers, but I'm genuinely being honest. The reason is that some K-tubers don't know how to make good unpopular long, short or one-sentence opinions, and sometimes their opinions are repetitive opinions used by many K-tubers, and the opinion becomes popular, which makes the whole purpose of the word, unpopular, useless. Also, the opinions aren't that original too. I want people to actually spend time thinking of good opinions, instead of using the shortcut of using repetitive opinions. I'd rather have thousands of new original unpopular opinions, than about 4 to 5 popular opinions used 1,000 times. That's all I ask for. More originality, and less repeating and reusing. The next opinion is that, third generation isn't the best generation in K-pop in my opinion. Fourth generation is also good. People say third generation is the best in terms of music quality, and amazing songs and other things, and how nothing can top that generation, which I can understand, but for me it's not the best generation. Actually, every generation has its good sides. No generation is superior in my opinion, and every generation has some good in it. I believe in the fact that third generation isn't the best, because I listen to a lot of Nugu songs as well as popular, and most of my K-pop favorites come from Nugu music. So that's why in the current era of K-pop, I have appreciation for fourth generation music as well, and don't believe in the third generation as the best thing, because there are so many great K-pop songs from each generation, especially fourth generation as well, and so many great K-pop songs through all the noise that fourth generation like to release that are amazing and unpopular. Third generation isn't the best, and for me that's the truth. Though I don't know much about second and first generation, I do know a lot about the music in fourth generation, and there are so many amazing songs in the fourth generation that should be appreciated more. Y'all only think of third generation as the best, because y'all have put yourself in this room of bigger company, popular, Nugu groups, and not a lot of y'all have stepped out of the room, and gone to the other parts of the K-pop house, to explore the different amazing but underrated group songs that come from good or smaller companies that barely get any attention. That's the reason why y'all think third generation is the best. If y'all actually explored K-pop more, you'd see third generation isn't that superior, and other generations have amazing music as well. The last opinion is that, K-pop MVs are not better just because they have a bigger budget, and K-pop MVs are not terrible just because they have a lesser or little to no budget. The budget of an MV doesn't make or break how amazing the MV is. A K-pop MV can have the most expensive sets, extreme amounts of props, over-the-top editing and things, but can still look boring, and an MV with little to no budget can be using a location that most K-pop companies use for MVs, using the props in that location, and having some simple or nice-looking edits, but could end up being a good MV. What I'm trying to say is that, having a bigger, higher budget doesn't automatically make your MV better. It just makes your MV expensive looking and that's it. And having a cheaper, lower quality MV doesn't always mean a bad MV. The budget doesn't matter as much as the contents in the MV. The things going on in the MV matter more than the quality of the camera used. Y'all need to understand that. Y'all need to know that MVs aren't cheap. Smaller companies just use a camera they can afford, and that's not cheap. That's just using whatever they can in their budget to make a good MV. And for bigger companies, don't get blinded just because they can afford to make expensive MVs all the time, because there are some MVs that are just expensive but they don't look good at all. Also, please don't think that I'm hating on bigger financially stable companies to bring up smaller companies. I'm not. I'm just saying an opinion that I had, and that's all. So please understand.